So we got this back out, ready to go. What all did you do to it?
So really, over the winter, all we did is, it did need valve guides when I bought the car. It smoked a little bit at idle. So the first day I bought the car, we pulled the valve covers and checked it and pulled a couple springs and checked them all out. And it was a couple guides were pretty far out of whack, and I should have fixed it sooner, but I drove it all year anyways. And was just, I lowered the limiter and just took it easy on it. But anyways, the heads already needed fixed again. It had a set of AHP stage 4 heads, and their street port, and then we had a BTR 3 cam in it with the stock runner length MSD intake manifold. Like, I port matched the throttle inlet and stuff, but I didn't get crazy on it. And it made like 608 on a cooled down nice perfect world pass last year. Pretty commonly, like if you just back to back, it'd be 601, 604. So it made just over 600 barely. And but it only peaked at 62. It was torquey, it felt good, and it drove good. But like if you really got on it, it felt like it laid over earlier for what I like. I like high rev and stuff. So the heads needed fixed, and I was like, perfect timing. I'll send them out and have them ported. So heard a lot of good things about Iron Mask, and he does a lot of hand porting and stuff. And then he does the short ram mod, which is what completely sold me on it. So I was like, well, I'll send the intake and the heads to him. I'll let him do his thing and work the heads over. And then the short ram mod was the biggest mod I wanted to do because the shorter runner length is going to shift power higher north. Like I said, it was a blast. It was quick. It would go 11:01 at 132 on the street tires with the draggy. 60 to 130 is a big Corvette thing. It wasn't the most impressive thing ever, but it's also like a full weight heated seat car with like all the stuff on. Refused to ruin it just for some bullshit times. And then I'm 230, so I mean it went like 690s, which was pretty slow. 60 to 130, but like I said, it was 3 shifts because the gear ratio and the tire size and spinning, and so anyways, not that you can't discredit it for spinning a little bit, rolling into second, and then grabbing third, and then having to grab fourth before the end. Anyways, it was awesome on the street. The thing was fast. Like I said, it would go 11:01 on street tires with the traction control on, so that was pretty cool. I tried a few times to go 10s, but it just would spin too much. So anyways, this combination with the heads, Brian Tooley's new V2 camshaft, the stage 4 V2, and then the Iron Mask short ram runner manifold, the same manifold I had. I sent him out. He's short in runners. Just those 3 mods, well, technically 4. I put a nicer set of Johnson short travels in it. Last year it had 2 10Rs. This year it's got the ST2116 LSRs. So a short travel, deck the head, so it's 12.2-ish, maybe 12.4 to 1, versus last year it was probably 11.20. So picked up quite a bit though. Lost 40, 50 foot-pounds of torque below 3,600, which is fine with me. And then it picked up like 75 wheel horsepower up top and carried power like 1,200 higher, really. Like it's still making 600 wheel at like 78, 7,900 where I letting off at. But anyways, yeah, it peaked at 677 on a cool down pass. Back to back to back, it'd go 672, 671, 672, 671. So it's rowdy now. It sounds way better, and it still drives. It's got a couple points. I did a monster twin disc. It's a little stiffer than the McLeod I had, and it grabs a lot harder for sure. But otherwise, like cruising down the road, it drives equally as good as that old stage 3 BTR did. So definitely impressed with that cam for the size of it. It still drives pretty decent. I said I think the clutch makes most of it through traffic feel a little more aggressive because it's either on or off. It grabs and goes, so then you feel the bucking. But like I was cruising last night with Chelsea going on the road, 60 in 6th gear. It was like 1450 RPM, and unless you were decelling going down a hill, if there was load on it, it didn't buck. I was like, holy shit, this thing drives pretty good. So I was just really excited to get it out. I really like the red truck, and it's fun to beat on and take people for donut rides and stuff. But I really like this car better. It's just more of grown man appeal to me. Like I always wanted one and didn't think I could ever have one, and then now I got it, and I'm like, oh, it's pretty sweet. So I said the mileage drives so good on the highway. Still got a nice sounding radio from the factory.
Yeah, that has factory Bose, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just a nice car. I wish I had cooled seats instead of heated seats. I don't know why GM did that, but it has heated seats. It's got really comfortable seats because it's 2012. I think it's a 2LZ. Pretty sure, but yeah, this son of a bitch is 3184 with a half tank of gas. So I mean, like if it's full with me in there, it's 3400 and some change.
That's still pretty light.
It's light, but it's Corvettes. It's a heavy Corvette kind of. You know, most of these C5Z guys and these guys especially, they're 3000 race weight because they're gutting them and changing the mufflers and taking the sway bars off and pulling the seats and putting Kirkies or whatever it may be. So
yeah, don't do that.
I'm not doing that. There's not one thing I'm gonna take off that car. So
I'm even glad you kept those wheels instead of changing the wheels.
I love those wheels. Those BC Fords look good on there. I would have never picked them, but I love them. The same thing with the brakes. I hate the yellow calipers, but they're in good shape. It's not really worth changing them.
No.
You know, like if I was going to change them, I'd probably just put the ZR1 carbon brakes on it. Those are like $4, $5, $6 grand used. So
yeah.
But if I was to change the brakes, I'd probably do that. They'd be a little lighter, I bet.
Might as well go Woolwood at that point.
Yeah, we'll see. I'd probably never have a problem with those.
No, you put
Not
maybe
all across
10
it.
grand a month on it or a year on it.
Literally driving this car, like just cruising it. I'm already getting everyone hammering me like, do some draggy hits. It's like, I don't care about that stuff. Corvette people are always worried about one thing, and it's raining. So
I just want to hear this bitch rip. That's gonna be so nasty on or what is it? You're doing 60 to 130s?
That's whatever wants me to do. I probably won't even do it just because they bugged me. I bought that drag pack just to sell because it was on sale through one of the vendors, and I might throw it on and take it to the track at some point. There's like nothing wrong with this car. There's no scratches. There's no dents. Yeah. There's no scuffs. There's no fucking rubber in the wheel wells. And everyone's like, you need to draggy that and race that. And I'm like, but that's why I got this piece of shit. Like, that's what I do is we beat the shit out of this for a reason. Do donuts, throw rubber all over it. And then I spray it off because Dick with Northern Performance Shine's got a nice ceramic coat polish kit on there. And she cleans up really good.
That car looks so nice.
I do not want to destroy this car. I bought this car 100% to drive. Everyone else, they take advantage of the fact that I'm a gearhead, and they're like, he's gonna race it, and I'm not. I probably won't. Like I said,
when we're cruising and
in the fall, I might take it to the track in the fall, one time, just so everyone shuts up. Plus, I'd be curious to see how fast I could go.
It'll just be when we're going to dinner one night in the vehicles.
Yeah.
And you go do a pull by, like, wow.
Yeah, I don't like I said, I don't want to race the car. I don't want to tear the car up. That's not what I bought it for. I plan to keep this car for a long time, and the only way I would ever get rid of it is to replace it with the same exact color as the R1 just to have a factory blower car.
I mean,
and even then I probably won't because once again, I'm not trying to race the car. I'm just trying to cruise it, and I want it to sound badass and make decent enough power where I feel like it's quick.
ZR1 would be nasty.
It would, but then like if I get a ZR1, I'd probably turn into... I'd have to do an aftermarket blower and Ford short block. And
so you might as well just keep this.
I make 1,200-1,300 wheel now, and I'm like, I just ruined a ZR1.
Yeah.
Not that it matters, but I was happy with this car last year. I'm going to be really happy with it this year, I think. Like I said, another 70, 75 wheel. That'll be nice. I said I was absolutely not displeased with it. The only thing last year is I was like, plateaus power pretty quick. They sound cooler at 7,500 than they do at 65, so I was like, I'll do the heads cam deal on it since I already have to pull the heads, and that's it. And I said, like it.
It's a perfect driver.
I like it a lot, yeah. As long as mileage doesn't go downhill too bad, I'll probably leave it alone. If it does, I might even put a smaller cam back in it at some point, just because I literally just want to drive this thing.
This is by far one of the best chassis setups GM's done.
Yeah, a lot of people will agree the C6 Z06 is one of the baddest cars ever made.
Yeah. See a lot of people that like the newer ones, the younger kids will be, oh, you gotta have a C7 or a C8. And it's like, oh, I've rode in both those. The interior on that takes the cake. Like comfortability wise, drivability wise, the C6s are very nice.
They could have made it nicer, especially in the 12 and 13 year kind of thing, you know, like it's the same interior basically as a 6 with minor changes. But it is a basic interior. It's clean and simple, but it's almost part of the reason why a lot of us like them is because
they're built to drive.
It's a driver's car. When you sit in the car and you grab the shifter and the steering wheel, like you feel attached to the car. And that's like, I like the C7s. I thought Michael's C8 was cool. It's just, you know, that's the last muscle car. The new ones are automated and they're sweet, but these are awesome. We really like these.
Comfortability. I really like the seats in those. Driver's seat, passenger seat. I drove them. I
got
rode
people
them.
all the time trying to buy the seats out of that. I'm like, no, I'm not taking the seats out of this. No, absolutely not. But yeah, it's time to dinner, Richard.
All right. Don't forget to like, subscribe. We got some big changes coming in the next, month?
Yeah.
So it's going to be pretty interesting. So we'll have more videos. We're going to start aiming for 2 a week because we'll have more time.
Yeah, then take it for a trip for the other C6 Z06.
Oh, yeah, we got another one here before we hang up.
This is why you fix your heads. And don't get jackass like me and drive it the rest of the summer just in case.
Because then you'll be sitting here like this.
Piston delete, cuz. It's just such a shame, too. Yep.
But it's here because it's going to get fixed right.
Well, now we're putting a whole new long block in it. The guy actually bought one and sent the heads off from it to K-Tech to get fixed before we touched it. And then, so like I said, we just put together a whole nice long block with a decent healthy cam. And K-Tech set the heads up, did the springs and stuff, so we didn't have to do that. We just kind of bolted them on. So
that'd be nice.
Yeah, we just basically change the long block. I'm going to add a flex sensor and a couple little things to it. And then just dyno it. So it's pretty easy. Switch.
Yeah. All right. Let's go get some wings.
Yes.